everyone. Thank you for taking a look at our 30-minute walkthrough session where we're going to explore the basics of getting started with your IDX broker account. My name is Ben and I'm one of the tech support guys over here. And the goal in these 30 minutes is just to cover where important account information is stored, where you can go to access your custom pages, widgets, and save links to display the MLS information, as well as some of the features we have in place for managing any leads that you capture using your IDX broker service. So we're going to be going a little quick here, but the goal is just to cover enough of the basics just to help get you started and hit the ground running. So when you first log into your account, you will be taken to this page here, which is your home dashboard. And on this page is where you're going to be getting important information at a glance as soon as you log into the account. Things like the features and notices section up here in the upper right will show you things like upcoming webinars we have scheduled, new features that we've added to IDX Broker, anything in regards to your MLS feed. So things like that will just be feeding through here. They'll also start showing up as these notifications in the upper right-hand corner. So if you just click on this little bell icon, you'll also get our notifications that way as well. Continuing down the page, we've got a spot here for your most recent leads that you've captured. This will give you the name, the email address that they've provided, as well as when they've signed up. So, that information is just going to start feeding through once you start capturing some leads with us. Continuing down the page, you've got overall traffic stats for your IDX broker pages. This line graph will show you your overall page activity over the last 30 days based on how many times the pages have been clicked on and viewed. And then below that, you'll see another chart that shows you your most popular types of pages. And again, this is based on the number of times they've been clicked on and viewed. Towards the bottom, we have the site navigation section. This is where we give you quick access to any of your search pages, your contact pages, and if you have a team level account or higher with us, you would also have a link to your roster page down here. Oftentimes, these are the most commonly used pages people use with our service, so we've just given you quick access as soon as you log in, but there's a couple other areas that you can grab these links as well, and I'll be sure to show you where that's at in just a bit. And those are the main items with the home dashboard. Like I said, really easy information at a glance as soon as you log in. I also like to show people that you can create what are called quick links. These are essentially shortcuts or bookmarks to certain parts of your account. So let's say, for example, every time you log in, you're checking up on any new leads that you've captured, and you're always coming to this page. For any of these backend pages, you can come up here to the upper right-hand corner, click on your name, and then if you click quick link in the box below, this will make it so that as soon as you log into your account, you can just go right to the quick link section and then just click on that link and it will take you straight there. So just saves you a little bit of time that way. While I mention it, this is always going to be in the upper right-hand corner of any of your pages, and the number that's here in the parentheses is what we call your account ID number. If you throw that in with the call or the email you send our way, that just helps us out so that we can get into your account and help you out with any of the questions that you may have, or if you're running into issues so that we can troubleshoot them as fast as we can. All right, so over here on the left, that's mainly it for the dashboard. Let's move on to the account section. So if we go down here to account and then click on details below, this will take you to the account info page, and up here at the top in the primary account info section is the information that we've reached out to your MLS board with in order to get access to their data. Below that in the account section is what we refer to as your display information. And we call it that because this is what's going to show up alongside any IDX broker contact forms that you're using, or let's say that somebody did a search using your IDX broker service and that they found a property that they want to learn more about, and they want to reach out to an agent about it. The display information is what would show up along with that page. So you can come in here and change this up. I know a lot of our clients, rather than use their own name, they'll use their agency or brokerage in place of it. So you can change the display name to be whatever you need. But any of these fields can be adjusted and modified to what you need. The only restriction here is that anything that has an asterisk at the end of it is considered a required field. So if I tried saving this up with there not being anything in the address box, it will just give me this error message that lets me know that this is a required field. So there has to be some value that's in there. The email address that we have linked here is what we have tied to the account is the primary email. So this will be the one that by default receives notifications of new leads that have signed up, or if a lead has saved a property and then there's a price change or a status change. This email address would be the one that receives those property updates from the IDX broker system. So in case it's your personal email that's in there and you prefer using a business email of some kind, you can always come in here, change it up, and then just be sure to hit save changes down below. Back up here at the top, if we need any of this information to change, the best way to get this updated would be to reach out to our MLS team directly at mlsinfo@idxbroker.com. Mainly because if your MLS requires us to reach out to them to update any of this information, we just make sure that we reach out to them on our side And once we've gotten the okay from your MLS, we would have permission to go in there and change this information up. You can also reach out to us on the support team as well, and we can also get that process started for you. But I'd say the quickest way to, get any of this, if your website address changes or if you switch companies down the road, is just to reach out to our MLS team directly. Also under the account section is anything we have in regards to your billing with us. So if you go to account and then billing, you'll see the credit card information that we have on record over on the left-hand side, and over on the right, you'll see the account standing, when your last payment was made, when your next scheduled payment is. So all that information is just going to come through up top here. If we continue down the page, you've got a breakdown of our invoices. So we do it on a monthly basis, so you're not locked into any contract with us or anything like that. And the current invoice would be for the next scheduled payment. So that information would feed through down here. And this is where you can check out any of the different charges, so you know exactly what you're being charged for and why. And if you ever needed to pull one up from the past, that's just going to be down here in the history section. There would be these invoices that you can expand out and see the line by line item view as well. If you ever needed to change the card that you have on record with us, that's just going to be up here in the upper right hand corner. If you click update payment method, it'll take you to this page where you just put in the new card number, change up the expiration date. Any of this information can be modified within your account. But we're also happy to take care of it over the phone if you prefer as well. Another thing I should note is back on the billing page, down here below, if you ever need any of these invoices for your own records, you have the option of printing a physical copy, or you can also email a copy to yourself, whichever way you would prefer to do that for your own records. A few other things you can do under the account section is you can always change your password. So if you just hit that, you would just put the new one in twice, then hit the blue button, and then your password would change right there. So if that needs to update for whatever reason, you can do so there. You can also upgrade your account. So if you go to upgrade, this is for if you currently have a light level account, we're thinking of upgrading to platinum, or if you needed to downgrade for whatever reason, you can do so at any time. There's just going to be a prorated charge or a prorated credit that would be applied to your account if it's in between billing sessions. Essentially, the difference is $20. So that's mainly it for our account section. Another area I like to show people is just under the messages section. So if you expand that out and then go to Message Center, this will have any incoming or outgoing messages in regards to your IDX broker account. So these will be things like emails that are sent out to your leads or emails that you get sent from the IDX broker system about, property updates and whatnot. You'll also get support emails and things like that feeding through here. So this is always helpful to just come in and check every once in a while. On this page, you'll see the email the message was sent out to. If you click on the subject line here, this will give you a preview of the message itself so that you can see exactly what was sent out. And then you'd also be able to check over here to the right, the date and time in which the message was sent. And then over here on the far right is probably the most helpful feature. You can check and see the status of the email. This green check mark just lets you know it was successfully delivered. And you'd also be able to see whether the email itself was opened and whether a link inside of it was clicked on and viewed. So that's probably most helpful for checking up on your leads and making sure that you're following up with the ones that are, getting into their emails, verifying their accounts, saving searches and properties and whatnot. So mainly this page just helps you get a pulse and follow up with those active leads. So that's mainly it for the messages sender. I always like to show that to people, but most of our clients will spend their time in the design section. And if you expand this out, we divide them into these two separate categories. The settings here is for adjusting your global location and MLS settings. So those are sort of the more global features that you can adjust. But most of our clients will spend their time in the website section because this is where you have access to your custom pages, widgets, and save links that allow you to display the MLS information on your own website in a number of different ways. For instance, with save links, I often refer to them as our version of landing pages. The idea with one of our saved links is that when you create one, you define the parameters of a search. So, let's just say that, you're putting together this link that shows residential properties in the 300 to the 800,000 range in a particular neighborhood. Maybe you're interested in displaying waterfront commercial properties, whatever that search looks like. You set this up when you create a saved link. And then once you've built that out, it will give you a link or a URL to a standalone page that will display the results of that search that you set up. So it's really handy because you don't have to worry about going in there yourself and adding or removing listings whenever there's a change in the data. We're going to be handling that step for you. So basically, if that's updating, we're going to be pinging your MLS board and getting that most up-to-date information that they're sending us. So you don't have to worry about changing any of that information. A lot of people like to use our saved links for, social media campaigns because you can just take that link and then paste it into your Facebook or Twitter feed. So it makes it easy for your followers to just click on that link and see the properties that you want to show off. Also, people like to use their saved links for like website navigation items because, a lot of people will have this menu item where it's like neighborhoods, and then it will, go down to a list of other neighborhoods that they have and they want to display with saved links. And then, those navigation items would just link to saved links. So that's just another way that people like to use those. So we'll go over how to build one of those out in just a bit here. For now, let's start under page templates. So going to design, website, and page templates. We'll take you to this page where we have most of your standard IDX broker pages saved. And we've divided them up into their different types of categories. So you can see all your search pages are up top here. Continuing down the page, you've got your results pages, your contact pages, and so on. And if you ever needed to grab the link to any of these pages, you can come over here to the link column and then click link. And once you go there, in this box that shows up will be the link or the URL that you would use in order to take somebody to your basic search page, for example. So you can grab the link to any of your pages just by doing that. Another thing you can do on this page is you can adjust any of the settings of them. And the best way to do that would be by going to the preferences column and clicking edit. And once you go there, it'll start you off under the SEO settings tab. And on this page is where you can adjust the ending page URL, and you can also change the page name itself. This is essentially how it's saved within IDX Broker. So if you want to call it something other than advanced search just for your own convenience, you can change the name that way. You can also go here to change the page title and meta tags. So this is mainly helpful for SEO reasons and kind of helps push your pages to the top of any Google or Bing search. So this is just one of the places you can go to optimize that, but I definitely encourage you to explore that a little bit further and see what other options are available for you. We also have a tab up here for a search setup since we're in the preferences of a search page. And if we go there, this will show you any of the default settings that we have set up for this particular search page. And this will show you the fields that are currently pulling in. At the platinum level, you have the ability to adjust these fields and hide certain fields or add certain fields to them if you wanted. But this would be restricted at the light level. It is a platinum level feature for this. Something that you can still do at the light level though, is you can adjust the minimum and maximum price range for any of your search pages. That's just going to be on a different part of the account. So let me make sure that I show you where that's at here. It'd just be under design and then settings and then global. And once you're there, you just make sure that you have the search tab pulled up. And if you scroll all the way down here to the bottom in the setup section, you will see these two boxes where you can adjust the default minimum and default maximum price. So it's still an option that's available to you at the light level. It's just on a different part of the account. So mainly, I just like to make sure that anyone who has a light level account is aware of that. But if we go back to where we were before real quick, and we do have a platinum level account, just make sure we're back on the search setup tab. You can adjust any of these fields to be pre-populated with information that you already want filled out. So let's say, for example, if somebody comes to this search page, I already want them to be looking for active properties when they first come there. So I would just click in the status box here, pull back any of the statuses we currently get from the MLS, and I would just choose active. And if I want that to stick, I would just scroll down here to the bottom and then just click Save Changes down below. So that will make it so that anytime somebody comes to the search page, active is already going to be filled out in the status box. But if I'm somebody taking a look at that page, I can click this X and then that will remove it, and then that will open it up to the rest of the statuses that the MLS provides. If you don't want that to be the case and you only want me to look for active properties, another thing that you can do is you can come up here to the upper right-hand corner and then click Hide. And that makes it so that, regardless of what I fill out here, it's always going to look for properties that currently have the active status. So that's a good way to kind of control what properties people using your IDX broker service are able to search for. Yeah, there's a lot of customization that's available to you there. We also have a tab up here for lead registration, but we're going to go into more detail on this later, mainly because there's a whole section that we have over here that's dedicated to leads, and I prefer to show people the lead registration area in this menu, mainly because you have better control over specifically, where you're asking your leads to sign up, how you're capturing their information, what information you're asking them to provide. We'll go into lead registration in more detail later. It's good to know that if you have a platinum level account, this is a platinum feature, that you can set it up at the page level. So you can get very specific with what pages you're requesting or forcing that people sign up with you. But we'll go into more detail on this in just a bit. If we go back to where we were before, under the page templates, this will, again, we went over the preferences. So this is for adjusting any of the settings for your IDX broker pages. If you wanted to play around with the overall look and feel of your pages, you can go to the layout column and then click edit. And once you go there, it'll take you to this page where it shows you the current template that's being used for your IDX broker pages. And when we first activate you, you're set to use the mobile first template. And this is usually the one that we recommend people use, mainly because it's our mobile responsive template, meaning that, anybody taking a look at this particular page on an iPhone or a tablet, our content will automatically shrink down to fit and it won't look cut off or anything like that. So for that reason is why we recommend you use the mobile first template. But if you want to see what else we have available, you can just scroll down the page a little bit and see the different templates that show up here. It'll show you the currently active template that's highlighted in green. But if you want to see what another one looks like, all you have to do is just click activate for one of the other templates. That will change the template over, and you can just refresh the page that you were looking at to see those templates update right then and there. But you can always come back here and change it back to the way it was before if you don't like the template. Nothing you do on this page is permanent, so you can always switch it back to the way it was before. So that's mainly it for our pages. And with our pages, like I said before, these are basically pages that we've already built out for you, and we give you those links so that you can take them and put them on your own website. And that's basically how you can share our information with, people wanting to use your IDX broker service. But if you're interested in displaying MLS information on one of your own pages, let's say that, you wanted to show off these particular listings on your home page, or you have a landing page that gets a lot of traffic online and you want to capitalize on that. People also use our service by using widgets, and that's a really good way to display MLS information on already existing pages. So if we just go to design, website, and then widgets, it will take you to this page where we have any of the widgets already built out on the IDX broker system. And when we first activate your account, you're probably seeing a couple that are already made for you here. It's things like the quick search, the lead login, featured showcase, just to name a few. And the way that we implement our widgets is by using a JavaScript code. So we do that coding on our side. So all you have to do in order to get one of our widgets to pull through is come over here to the right and then click on this middle icon to view the code. And then in this box that shows up will be the little bit of HTML that you can just copy and paste into your site. And then where that goes is where our widget's going to pull through. So if you're using a popular web builder such as Squarespace, WordPress, usually it'll have areas where you can embed HTML code. So if you're seeing anything like that on your side, you just have to throw in this little bit of HTML, and then that would be how you'd get our widget to pull through. So we've made a number of widgets for you, but you can also create widgets of your own. And the way to do that would be by going up to the upper right-hand corner and then clicking Create New. Once you go there, the first step is choosing the type of widget that you want to build. So if we expand this out, I'll show you how to build a showcase widget just for demonstration purposes, mainly because this is one of our more popular widgets and a lot of people like to use them on their homepage because the end result is going to be displaying the MLS properties as little boxes that will go across your page. So a lot of people like to use that to show off particular listings. So we'll just choose showcase. The next step is choosing the properties to feature. And from these options, these top ones are essentially for bringing back your office's listings. The very top option here, feature properties, we use that to refer to any listings that are tied to the agent ID or agent IDs on the account, where the agent is considered the primary listing agent and whatever properties are considered active according to your MLS. So feature properties is just a nice, easy way to pull in your listings. If you have a multi-user account, let's say you have 10 agent IDs linked to it, feature properties would be the way to pull back everyone in your office's listings, but you also have the ability to feature specific agent or agents properties at the multi-user level as well. So that's an option that opens up to you. You're not only limited to your own listings, but you can also just display information from the MLS as well. And the best way to do that would be by using the custom search option. And once you go there, you choose the particular search page that you want to use. And this will come back with anything we have on IDX Broker. And for creating widgets as well as save links, I usually recommend using the advanced search page. This will be the one in our system that will come back with your MLS's specific fields, property types, statuses. So it allows you to get very specific with the listing information that you display. So we'll choose that. The second step is choosing the properties that you want to actually have show up in the widget. So as you can see, it will pull up the advanced search page, and this is where we're setting the parameters of the search and then controlling what properties we want to have actually show up. So let's say I'm looking for residential active properties in 200,000 to the 400,000 range. Maybe I'm just looking for properties in a particular city, so I'll just say Eugene. Maybe I'm also looking for properties in another city, like Springfield, let's say. I mean, you get the idea. You set this up to be as specific or as broad as you need it to be. And, that would be how you would control the properties that come through. These top fields are going to be pretty standard across MLSs. There'll be things like property types, price ranges, acreage, square footage, all of that. Down below, though, if you scroll down, since we have the advanced search page pulled up, these will be fields that are particular to your MLS. So this part's probably looking a little bit different depending on what MLS you're with. This is how you can have very specific search settings. I mean, if you're looking for residential properties, you're probably seeing similar things like school districts, area, neighborhood, maybe, all of that. And if you click inside of any of these fields, this will populate that information that we're getting back from your MLS. So this is a good way to really narrow it down and display very specific listings. If you ever needed to test this out and make sure you're coming back with the right results, you can always view the results in a new window. This is just going to do a test search, and we're just going to make sure that we're coming back the right looking results. And looks like we're coming back with a good number here. If I need to narrow this down, I can always go back into the search and set it up the way it was before. Or, I can make it more specific. So if this is looking good, we'll just go back to where we were before and then scroll down here to the very bottom of the page where it says widget options. And then once we go there, we'll just give the widget a name. I'll just call this one IDX test. You can change the sorting order. It's going to sort by newest listings by default, but you can also choose to sort it by price range, square footage, all of those different options here. The number of columns, because we're building a showcase widget, it's going to, at this setting, display the properties in rows of 3. So there'll be 3 boxes, then it will break down to the next 3 and so on. But if you want to change that up, you can also do so by choosing an option from the drop-down menu. The number of listings here, because we're building, any of our widgets basically have a limit of 100 listings. That's the maximum number. But you can also narrow this down a little bit. Maybe if you only wanted to come back with the newest 30 listings, that's something that you can have it set to. This is good so that the widget itself isn't taking up a whole lot of space on your page, and you can kind of control, how many of those listings actually pull through. Some other things you can do, you can choose to open, when somebody clicks on one of the widgets, it can open up in a new window. So if you click that to yes, basically what will happen is when somebody clicks on one of the properties, it'll just pop up in a new tab or a new window. So if you want that to happen, just make sure that's set to yes. And then this last option, if you have this set, what will happen is at the very bottom of the widget, there'll be this link that says view all results. And when people click on that, it'll pull up a results page that shows everything from the search. So this is probably most helpful if you're only narrowing it down to only show like the newest 30 listings. You can also give people the option to view all the results of the search too. So that's an option that's available to you as well. And once you're good with this, you'll just click Build Widget. It'll save it within the IDX broker system. And then right here in the third step is the bit of HTML that you can just take and plug into the site. Before you do that, you can always preview the widget just to make sure it's looking the way that you want. So you can just click Preview Widget. And then this is sort of the idea. It's going to come back with the listing information we're getting. It's going to have the primary listing photo. It'll show you the address, the price it's currently going for. And right now it's organized by newest listings too. And like I said before, you don't have to worry about coming in here yourself and adding or moving listings whenever there's a change. This step is the one that we're going to be taking care of for you. So long as the search parameters meet what the MLS is displaying, we're going to be dynamically adding or removing these listings. So you don't have to worry about that step at all. So that's mainly it for our widgets, and it's basically going to be the same process for building out any of our saved links. The difference again is that widgets are things that you take and plug into your own pages, and then saved links are going to be our pages that we host and then give you the links to so that you can share with people online or put them on your own website. Let me show you something you can do with saved links though. So again, if you just go to Design, Website, and Save Links, you just come up here to the upper right-hand corner if you want to create a new one. And once you're there, again, very similar to what you would do for the widgets, you can choose the advanced search page. And this is great regardless if you're a light or a platinum level user. But something you can do at the platinum level is you can use the polygon search. So if you choose standard results under polygon, and then move on to the next step. As you can see, it will pull up a map of your general area. Right now, we've got it over Eugene, Oregon. That's where we're at here in IDX Broker. And I just want to do a search for, let's say, like these properties. I just want to come back with these results. It's a really popular area, but there's a lot of neighborhoods and subdivisions, and it would be kind of a process to, get those listings to pull through from the MLS using the advanced search. But with the polygon search, it makes it nice and easy. I can just come over here to the left-hand side, click on this draw polygon icon, and it will turn my mouse into a cursor. And from here, I can just click and then move it, click and move it. So as you can see, I'm just drawing these points on a map, and then based on the GPS coordinates of the information we're getting back from your MLS, anything that falls within this green polygon shape is what's going to be displayed as the results of your saved link. So it just makes it easy. It's a good tool to have in your toolbox if you're a platinum level user to know that you have that. You can also choose more additional filtering options down below if you wanted to make it specific property types, bathrooms, bedrooms, price ranges, and whatnot. But if you have a light level account, using the advanced search will work just fine too. So like I said before, a lot of people like to use saved links for targeted social media campaigns to attract prospective leads to these properties. So let me make sure that I touch on some of the things we have in place for managing any leads that you capture with us. So over here on the left, you just click on leads. And if you click on manage, it will take you to this page where it will, anyone that fills out a contact form or saves a search or saves a property, their information will come through here by default. And you'd get the name, the email address they provided when they signed up. It'll also tell you when they've signed up and then show you their overall activity over here. You'd also be able to check and see any saved searches or saved properties that they have tied to their account already. So this is probably the most helpful feature. So maybe I want to check on this lead, see what property he's looking at. I can just click on this number 1 here, and it will take me into the lead information, and it'll show me what property he's got saved, the address and the price that's currently going for. It'll give me the MLS number if it provides it. And then it'll also tell me when he actually added it to the account. So basically leads will have their own lead portals that they can log into. And from there, they can manage their own properties and searches that they've created with you. But you also have the ability to get into their accounts and add properties and searches as well. If you're already here, you can click add, edit, save properties. And then it will take you to this page where they have any of the properties they've already got saved. And if you want to add a new one, you just come over here to the upper right-hand corner and then click Add Save Property. So maybe you followed up with this one lead before, you brought up this one property, and then you just wanted to add it to their account so they can take a look at it if they want. All you have to do is just put in the MLS number in the listing number box. You'll give the property a name, probably just the address to make it easy to flag down. And then if you want them to receive property updates from the IDX broker system, just make sure that this box remains checked. Essentially, whenever, for any of the properties they have on their account, whenever there's a price change or a status change, there'll be this daily email that gets sent out and, letting them know and summarizing any of the properties that have updated the previous day. So if they've had a status change or a price change, they'll be notified in that email. But if you don't want that to be the case, just uncheck it and then they can log into their account to get the most up-to-date information. So that's where your leads would go, just under leads and then manage. But you have good control over how you capture leads as well. And the best place to go for that would be under lead registration. And once you're there, when you first come to this page, you're probably going to be taken here where we have this simple slider bar where you can set your overall lead capture strategy. And initially, we'll have it set to the balanced approach. This is sort of the middle of the road one that we start you off with. And what will happen is when somebody does a search and, finds a property that they want to view the details for, before they get to move on to view the details, there'll be this form that appears on the page and it's going to request that they provide their information before continuing. If I'm somebody that did that, I can just click out of it and then just keep looking at the details, but that form will keep showing up every certain number of page views. So that's one way that we have it set up. You can slide it over to the left and go with the more conservative approach. And what will happen in that case is that, notification just isn't going to come through. It opens up your service so that people can just do searches, look at details, look at photo galleries, and use your IDX broker service as sort of an information gathering tool. But the only way you'd be capturing leads in that case would be if somebody on their own is saving searches, saving properties, like filling out those contact forms just on their own. You can also go the more aggressive approach. And what will happen in that case is instead of requesting that people fill out that form, it's actually going to force them to fill out the form before continuing. So with the aggressive approach is, if I'm somebody that's, done a search and wanted to view the details of a property and I tried exiting out of that form like I did with the balanced approach, with the aggressive approach, it's actually going to kick me back to the previous page I was on and it wouldn't allow me to view that content. So the only way that I'd be able to view the details of that property is if I signed up with you as a lead. So we try to design something that takes into account a number of different features, different strategies. But I usually show people the custom options. So if we slide it all the way down here to the right and then click Customize Settings, it will take you to the advanced features. And then under the Sign Up Page tab is where we have the area where you can set exactly what information you're asking your leads to provide when they sign up with you. So if we scroll down just a little bit here and go to the current sign up form preview section, this will be, the area that we have where we can fill out the fields that we want our leads to provide for us. And initially, when we have it first activated, you'll ask people to provide their first and last name, email address, and phone number. Those will be the standard fields that we have filled out. But if you want, you can add additional fields by coming up here to the upper right-hand corner and then clicking Add More Fields. From there, From this drop-down menu, you have a number of options to choose from, things like additional email address, zip code, and so on. If you're not seeing something that you like and you wanted to throw something else in there, you can always choose the other option. And for my form down here, I've used this to create things like a comments box. I've made a checkbox where people can agree to the terms of service, maybe for my website. People have also used this for getting information like, are you a buyer? Are you a seller? So, you can make this as specific or as broad as you want and make sure that you're getting the information you want from your leads. But from here, let's say I just want to add zip code. I'll choose that from the drop-down menu. I can check this box to make it a required field or not, and then I'll just hit submit, and it will add it to the form. From here, I can click and drag and drop it and place it where I need if I need it to be higher up. If it turns out I don't need it after all, I can always remove it just by hitting this trash can icon. If I need to edit any of the fields that are already on there, I could just click edit fields and then, choose from here. So you have a lot of control over what information you're asking your leads to provide. Something else you can do, you can enable CAPTCHA on this form. So if you set this to yes, there'll be this box that appears at the very bottom of the form. And it's mainly just a good way to filter out any spam bots and make sure that the leads you're capturing are coming from legitimate sources. So I definitely recommend enabling it, but it's up to you. A few other things you can do. If you have a platinum level account, you can also enable social media logins. So if you have this set to yes, instead of capturing people's information from this form, you can also provide them access to link their Facebook or their Google account. Makes it easy for them to sign up. They can just click and then link it that way. And then you get the main contact information that's provided from those channels too. So definitely recommend enabling that if you have a platinum level account. Another platinum feature is the ability to receive text message alerts whenever a new lead creates an account with you. So what you would do there is you would just opt in, set this to yes, and then under the phone number box, you just put in the number that you want to receive those text messages. And what would happen is as soon as somebody, saves a property, saves a search, or creates an account with you in any way, you would receive a text message that would have any of the contact information that they've provided. So, you'd be able to reach out to them right then and there if you wanted to. So those are the main items I like to discuss when talking about lead registration preferences. But as you can see, there's a lot of other things to kind of unpack and explore here. We're kind of at time here. So in case you ever needed to follow up on some of this stuff or, dive in deeper, you can always check out our support knowledge base. It's going to be over here on the left-hand side. If you click support and then click knowledge base, this is a great resource that you have, and it has the most up-to-date information that we have in regards to our, IDX broker service. And here, if we scroll down the page a little bit, we have different kinds of topics. We have all our getting started articles up here. You've got more customization options, things specific to WordPress, lead management, troubleshooting, and so on. So we've kind of grouped our articles up that way. You can also just come back up here to the top and then just click inside of his box and then, start typing in something you want to search for. Let's say I just want to learn more about SEO. It'll auto-populate with any of the articles that, have that as a keyword. So you can also search for articles that way. But you've also got us available. I hope this was informative, but there's a lot of information that we're covering all at once here. So if you need to reach out to an actual person and get some support, feel free to give us a call at 1-800-421-9668. You can also send us an email if you prefer at help, HELP, @idxbroker.com. We're most available Monday through Friday from 6 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. So depending on your time zone, that might change. Another way you can reach out to us is if you're already logged into the account, you can just come down here to the lower right-hand corner, and where you're seeing this chat bubble icon, you can log into our live chat. So if you click on that, you can kind of describe the issue that you're running into. One of our tech support reps will be logged in. We'll see what account you're logged in as. We'll see what page you're looking at. And then you can keep working from here as we provide you support in the text box here. So personally, that would be the way I would do it. But however you'd like to reach out to us for support, definitely let us know. Well, thank you for taking a look at this video. I know that we went a little bit over time there, but I hope it was informative. But if we can help you any further, definitely let us know. Hope to talk to you soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.